She nodded. Didn't look around. Didn't scan the room. Didn't search for him. Didn't even notice him. That was the third thing that felt wrong. He frowned slightly. Not enough for anyone else to see. But enough to feel it himself. Because his wife always noticed him. Even in a crowd. Even in chaos. Especially in chaos. But not now. Now, he was invisible. Or maybe he was being ignored. On purpose. A crew member brushed past him. Too close. Their shoulder clipped his arm. No apology. But under their breath, just loud enough, he actually came. He turned. But the crew member was already gone. Blended back into the machine. That's what it felt like now. A machine. Everything moving. Everything functioning. But no one questioning anything. Except him. His gaze drifted again. Not to her. Not anymore. To the space around her. That's when he started seeing it. Not the set, the setup. Lights not just placed for the scene, but angled outward. Cameras. Not just covering the actors, but covering the room. And people not just working, but watching. Watching what? His eyes flicked back to her. She was laughing now. Quietly. Leaning toward the director again. Too comfortable. Too familiar. Like this wasn't the first time. Something twisted in his chest. But he didn't react. Didn't move. Didn't speak. Because now he wasn't just a husband walking into a surprise. He was something else. Someone observing. Someone calculating. Someone realizing. This moment? It wasn't spontaneous. It wasn't accidental. And it definitely wasn't private. At first, I thought I was watching them. His eyes slowly shifted back to that hidden camera. Still there. Still pointed. Still recording. But then it hit me. A slow breath. Controlled. They were watching me. His expression changed. Just slightly. Not hurt. Not anger. Something sharper. Awareness. And beneath that, something dangerous. Understanding. Because if this was a setup, then someone made a mistake. They assumed he wouldn't notice. A faint smile touched his lips. Barely there. The scene reset again. But this time, he didn't feel like an outsider anymore. He felt like a player. And the game had just started. The set moved again. Reset. Rehearse. Repeat. But now he wasn't watching the scene. He was watching everything else. Slow cuts. Fragments. Details that don't belong, until they do. A boom mic held just a little too steady, angled not toward the actors, but toward him. A woman by the monitor not taking notes, just staring. Waiting. Two crew members whispering, then stopping the exact moment he looks up. Coincidence? Maybe. Once. Twice? His jaw tightened slightly. 3 times? No. That's a pattern. Patterns don't lie. His POV scanning the room like a grid. Entry points. Exits. Placements. Sightlines. Everything connected. Everything intentional. His eyes drifted back to her again. She hit her mark perfectly this time. Too perfectly. The line delivery flawless. The laugh timed. The glance toward the director precise. Rehearsed. But something about it felt off. Not fake. Not forced. Controlled. Like she wasn't just acting in the scene. She was acting outside it too. I started asking the wrong question. Slow push in. Not, what are they doing? But why now? Because if this was planned, then timing mattered. And if timing mattered, then he mattered. A flicker of memory. Earlier that morning, her voice. Too casual. Too light. You don't have to come today. His eyes narrow. Not a suggestion. A setup. She didn't want him here. But she knew he might come anyway. That's when the doubt changed shape. Tight on his face. It wasn't about her anymore. It was about me. Why invite the risk? Why create this moment? Why build an entire environment just to capture a reaction? Unless. His breathing slows. Unless the reaction was the point. Cut to hidden feed. Red light. Blinking. Recording. Waiting. Hungry. His lips part slightly. Not in shock, but realization. They don't care what I see. A quiet exhale. They care what I do. And just like that, the rules changed. He stops being the subject and starts becoming the threat. Silence stretches. Sound dulls. Everything slows. The director shouts something distant. Muffled. None of it matters now. Because he's no longer reacting. He's deciding. His posture shifts. Subtle. But deliberate. The weight in his stance different. Grounded. Still. Close up, his fingers relax, not tense. That's the first tell. Not anger. Not confrontation. Control. They expected emotion. A faint tilt of his head. They didn't expect patience. His POV again, but sharper now. He starts mapping it. That camera in the corner? Primary angle. The boom mic? Audio capture. The crew by the monitor? Observers. And her? The center. Always the center. But now not the focus. The anchor. He takes one slow step forward. No one stops him. That's interesting. Another step. Still nothing. Because to them, he's still following the script. They thought they were directing a scene. Slow dolly in as he moves. But they forgot something. His eyes flick briefly right into the hidden camera. Not accidental. Not curious. Intentional. Connection. A silent message. I see you. Micro-reactions ripple across the room. The woman by the monitor shifts. The boom operator adjusts too quickly. The director pauses mid-sentence. Cracks. Small. But spreading. The moment you see the audience. The performance changes. He stops walking. Right at the edge of the scene. Close enough to step in. Far enough to. Tight on his face. Stillness. Then, subtle shift. He doesn't step in. He doesn't leave. He just waits. And that's the problem. Because this wasn't in the script. Not the pause. Not the stillness. Not the silence that now stretches too long. Director glances at script, then back up. There's a line missing. Or maybe a man who refuses to say it. Control depends on predictability. And he just broke it. His hand slowly lowers, flowers still in his grip, but no longer an offering. They're no longer soft. No longer romantic. Now, they look like evidence. The actress, his wife, finally reacts. A flicker. Not guilt. Not yet. But fear of something worse, uncertainty. She tries to pull him back into the scene. Wife, soft, controlled, hey, you're early. Wrong line. Wrong tone. Wrong everything. He tilts his head slightly, studying her like a stranger. He doesn't answer. She's still acting. But he isn't. The room tightens. Every crew member suddenly aware. This is no longer clean footage. Slow push in. Sound drops, heartbeat low under everything. He takes one step forward. Not into the scene, into their trap. But this time, it's different. His gaze drifts again, not to her, to the camera. The real one. Hidden. Watching. Waiting. A faint smile forms. Not emotional. Not hurt. Knowing. They wanted a reaction. So he gave them one. But not the one they expected. He finally speaks. Calm. Measured. Controlled. Him. Do you want to do this again? Or should we use the first take? Silence detonates across the room. Someone off-screen whispers, cut, but no one commits. Because now they don't know who's directing. The moment the subject becomes aware, the experiment is over. His eyes lock dead into the lens, no hiding now. No pretending. Just truth bleeding through performance. And for the first time, they're the ones being watched. She tries to recover. Of course she does. Because that's what actors do. Wife, forcing a breath, stepping forward. Babe, you're not supposed to. She stops. Too late. He doesn't correct her. Doesn't help her. Doesn't follow the script she just tried to rebuild. She just made a mistake. And mistakes don't exist in controlled environments. The director steps in, finally. Director, sharp, uneasy. Cut. Let's reset. Him, without looking away from the lens. No. Not loud. Not aggressive. Absolute. Everything fractures. Crew members shift. Someone pulls off headphones. Another takes a step back. Because now, this isn't a scene falling apart. It's a reality they can't put back together. His grip tightens slightly around the flowers, petals bending, stems creaking. They thought they were capturing a reaction. But they captured awareness. Now it's there. Not confusion. Not performance. Fear. Real. Unscripted. The air feels thinner. No one moves unless they have to. He finally looks away from the lens. Back to her. And this time, he sees her. Not the character. Not the wife. The participant. Him, quiet, almost curious. How long? Silence. Her lips part, but nothing comes out. That's the answer. The truth doesn't always need words. Sometimes it just needs pressure. He nods once. Small. Final. Like something clicking into place. His hand lifts slightly, flowers rising into frame. Then, he lets go. The bouquet drops. Hits the floor. Soft sound. Loud meaning. They scatter. Petals. Stems. Fragments. Just like the illusion. No one rushes to pick them up. Because everyone understands now. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't improvisation. This was exposure. They built a scene to control him. But forgot one thing. He could see them too. And now, there's nothing left to hide.